Alright, I'm back with part 2 of my tournament survival guide. So now that you're officially in your hotel room, some things to know, some useful things. First of all, if you are going to room with many people, I strongly recommend that you bring a surge protector, power, whatever this is called, with you. Because as you can see, I'm by myself, and already I have laptop, battery charger for my camera, and my cell phone already plugged in there. And actually I have my Nintendo DS charger as well that I may also be plugging in there. So just for myself, half the damn thing's used. Usually what ends up happening is if you're in a room with lots of people, everyone ends up with a different phone. You know, one guy's got a Droid, one guy's got an iPhone, one guy's got a BlackBerry, and they all have different chargers, and they're all trying to fucking figure out how to plug them in. And traditionally, hotel rooms don't have a lot of power sockets. Now, this is a suite, so this is the exception. You know, there's extra power sockets all over the place. But typically, if for a tournament, you want to bring, or have someone in your party bring a power supply, surge protector, whatever the hell you want to call it, okay? My next tip is if you are going to bring a laptop like I did, this is the Alienware laptop that I've talked many times about, that the HDMI port is completely destroyed. I managed to restore the graphic drivers, so the damn thing is kind of working. And I figured I'd bring it on this trip and use it to upload videos to YouTube, which it is doing right now, so that's good. But what I do recommend is there are many different ways to do this, but you see these right here? These are portable speakers, and you know, when you have a room full of people and you're watching videos on the internet, maybe you're watching TV or whatever, movies on the internet, the speakers on the laptop suck dick for the most part. So these are so cheap. I think I got these at Best Buy for like 20 bucks. They're really good, they're loud, and they plug in through a USB port. They don't even need their own power supply, so really useful. Something like that is really cool. Now, what I really think is a really good a tip is when you're doing your clothes, okay? And this, even I have been a victim of this. I admit I have lost clothing while going to a tournament because I fucked up, and here's why. Let's say, for example, there's 5 people in this room. Well, you have 6 drawers for clothes. Your goal should be to put as many of your own clothes into one drawer as possible and keep it in that one drawer, okay? So in this case, I've actually got, you know, my clothes, t-shirts, stuff like that there, and this is my underwear, which you don't really need to see, but underwear and socks. If I were not by myself, I would try to literally jam all that into one drawer, and here's why. When you go to tournaments like this, especially as it drags on, you know, you start to get tired, and then a lot of the times, the last day you sleep in, and then you wake up, you're like, shit, I gotta go, you know, we're getting kicked out here, we gotta hurry up and get to wherever you need to go to check out by noon or whatever the checkout time is. And what ended up happening, I remember, it was actually at this hotel. It was over 2 years ago. I was here for Northeast Championships, which I think it was the fall of 2009, or the winter of 2009. I don't even remember. But I was here, and I had put some clothes here, some clothes here, some clothes here. Well, guess what? I lost a t-shirt, and it was a really good t-shirt. It was one that I had just bought online. It was like Wolverine and stuff, you know, all kinds of cool stuff on it, and I lost it. That was like a $25 t-shirt, completely wasted because I'm an idiot, okay? So when you go to the tournament, try to keep your clothes as consolidated as possible. That way there's no confusion. You say, I know all of my clothes are in this goddamn drawer, and there's no way that I can be confused, all right? So I have actually unloaded my toiletries in the bathroom here. Like I said, you know, all the stuff that I talked about, you know, powder, Q-tips, deodorant. And here, as I showed you in my packing part 1 of the Tournament Survival Series, look how neat this is. I mean, even if I weren't by myself, I could have put all this stuff back in here, and, you know, no one's going to confuse that that's my stuff. No one's going to go in there and try to steal my stuff. So I love those toiletry bags that can hang from areas. Now, in this case, this hotel actually doesn't have a mirror. Some of them actually have mirrors, like over here, that you can hang it on. But in this case, I just hung it here on the towel rack, and it's really nice. It keeps your stuff consolidated and neat and together, and no one's going to try to get up in your shit. So alright, that is it for part 2 of the Tournament Survival Series. There's going to be a lot more coming up, trust me. And it's going to be more interesting than this. It's going to be regarding when you're actually in the ballroom, when you're actually there at the gaming area, what to expect, what are some good tips, you know, to keep yourself going and not get worn out or whatever, and not burn out. So that will be coming up later, but for now, DSP signing off with part 2, and I will return.